We call it CPV, and I'll show you what the abbreviation means in a minute. But it allows you to advertise directly to your competition's traffic. So free traffic is obviously the best kind of traffic. When new visitors hit your site through a search or social media, or because you sent them a postcard, that is obviously good. However, if you are paying to drive traffic, you need to make sure it converts. They do what you want. They opt in, they give you their name and email, they buy something. Otherwise, you're throwing money away. Okay. So what is CPV targeting? Cost per view. It's a strategy that combines networks to get relevant traffic to your site and then retarget them wherever they go. So, for example, retargeting is, you go to my website, you don't opt in for my free marketing report, and then next you go to CNN.com to check the news. But instead, you go to CNN, and the banner at the top is saying, come back to get your free report from Ultimate Marketing Magician. That's retargeting software. Because as soon as you get to my site, my website puts a cookie on your computer, and then can follow you wherever you go and show you more ads. So it doesn't matter if you're on CNN, and normally it would cost me $10,000 to have a banner ad on CNN for 30 seconds. Because I've got a cookie on your computer, what you see isn't the real CNN. You see CNN, but I've replaced the banner. I can replace anything on there with my ad. Well, not the articles, but I can replace any ad with mine. And I can now follow you wherever you go as long as I want for as often as I want. There's a downside. I'm sorry?
How do I get rid of you?
You have to
delete the cookies?
Yes, which most people don't know how to do, or don't bother. So you have to be smart about it, because if you say, I want to show them 10 ads tomorrow, they're going to get that you're stalking them, and they're not going to respond. But if you show them one ad every couple days, it's subtle enough that they will respond without thinking that you're following them everywhere they go. That's retargeting. Does that make sense? Again, there's no privacy anymore. Okay, so how it works is there are cost per view networks that allow you to have ads on almost any website on the internet. So I can go into a cost per view network, and we're going to show you the two that we use, and say, I want to put an ad on the New York Times, NewYorkTimes.com, which if I went to the New York Times would cost me, millions of dollars. But a cost per view network, they have sold that space, and I can get my ad up there. Now, are Ryan and Jason going to put an ad on the New York Times? No. Because their ideal prospect, millions of people read the New York Times. That's not a teacher in West Seneca, for example. That's not their ideal prospect. But what if you could put an ad in front of Kay, or Reed's, or Berzon's? You could put an ad on a competitor's website and drive them off their site to yours. Like the 8 million pizza places in the area, for example. So again, it's on your browser. It came with your browser when you got your computer. You don't know it's there, but it's there. About 25% of people have this on their computer right now, and the next time you buy a computer, you won't really have a choice. You'll have it no matter what. So as people upgrade, everybody will have it. And it's really, really cheap. So here's how retargeting works. A visitor comes to your site. In this example, I'm going to use somebody who's trying to actually physically sell a product online. So instead of opting in for a free report or a video series, this is literally, I'm going online to buy a dog collar. I go to your site, I look at it, but I leave before buying it. You can now display ads on any site I visit after going to your site, getting them to come back and buy the dog collar. So again, websites place cookies on your browsers all day long. Doesn't matter what browser you use, it's set to accept cookies as a default. Unless you turn it completely off and you go in your control panel, you can't get away from it. And if you ask 20 people, do you know how to turn off cookies in your computer completely off, not just off for the day, most of them will say, huh? They don't know, which is a good thing. So a retargeting network, again, recognize your cookie, and then uses it to display ads on websites throughout the web. So if you put them together, you get both. You drive your competitors' traffic to your site. If they don't do what you want, you stalk them until you drive them back. Or follow them is probably a nicer word than stalk. Okay, so you put an ad on your competitor's site, drive them to yours. If they don't take the desired action, you can follow them wherever they go to get them to come back. So they cannot hide from you. There is no escape until they buy or do what you want. Do you see how this could affect your business? Good answer. So, you drive them, you serve up an ad, drive them to your page, you're trying to sell them something or get their email, but let's say they don't take any action, you can keep driving them back. Now, you could also do it if they took the desired action. Let's say they opted in for your email list, for your newsletter, or they bought your dog collar. Now you can track them separately and get them to buy something else. You could get them to come back to your site saying, hey, because you bought this, here's a free offer. You know, come back and upgrade and we'll give you free shipping. Or come back and we'll do buy one, get one for 50% off. Or people who bought, Amazon does a great job at this. People who bought this book also liked this. You should buy this. You can do the same thing. You just don't need their billions of dollars in software because it's now available to everybody. Okay, so why do you need to stock people? You need to fill your funnel as efficiently as possible, and that means getting the cheapest, most targeted leads available and getting as many of them as you can handle. Here's a quick tip. If you don't have the infrastructure to support it, don't do it. Because if all of a sudden you have a ton of people, but you can't deliver what you promised, you'll just piss them off really fast. So don't get 5,000 people coming in your store for engagement rings tomorrow because you don't have that many to sell, or you can't make them that fast. I'm just assuming. You might be able to handle it. I don't know. Okay, so the reason that this makes it easier is because you're not risking it all on getting the sale or getting the email address. Because presumably, without this, they go to your site, and if they go away, you've lost them. And this is why you saw so many high-pressure squeeze pages over the last 5 or 10 years, which is a page where all you can do is put in your email or go away. They only have one choice. You can't get to the rest of the site until you give them your contact information. So the reason they had to do that was because they only had one shot at you. They had a Google pay-per-click ad or a Facebook ad. You clicked, you went, and if you went away, there was nothing they could do. So they had to put all their efforts into getting you to take that action in that one time. Now you can follow them forever, so you can be softer. You can be low-pressure sales and give them the opportunity to learn to go someplace else because you're not going to lose them. Does that make sense? Sort of changes the sales process in terms of getting traffic now because you can follow them forever.
I got a question about that. Now,
yes.
You said you can put several ads in front of them, for instance, right?
And you can put as many as you want.
So now what happens, like, whatever, I'm going to do something like a pizza and wing special, you know, and they have like 4 different offers. Well, now they click on it and they purchase. Do they continue to get that same ad? Or does that ad come out of the...
It immediately goes away.
All right.
So you say, here's my desired action. If they click on my stalker ad,
right,
immediately stop showing them that ad and start showing them something. You can show nothing or you can show something else. So no, you don't risk the, hey, I got this already, why do you keep showing me this? Okay, so this is 2 of the cheapest and most targeted forms of ads online. You're using keywords to target your display ads. So that means, again, I'm either advertising on my competitor's website or I'm advertising on people searching for something that I do. Dog collar, dog training, financial advice, custom diamond jewelry, whatever it is. Video production. And then, because again, I'm retargeting them after they leave my site, I can change that offer because I know what they saw when they went to my site. So I can customize the ad to what they saw. So it allows you to test a whole bunch of different ways to make sure you find the highest converting combination. So again, you can use this to seek out your target market and then keep following them. Very, very cheaply. Okay, so this is the progression through which your campaign works. They see the ad, they come to your site, you retarget them. If they don't do what you want, ultimately to drive sales. So here are the 2 networks that we use. lead impact and Site Scout. Leadimpact.com, SiteScout.com. These are the two biggest networks for buying those ads. Lead impact will deliver you more bang for your buck, and the traffic is converting really, really well. Site Scout offers lower cost per impressions, and they offer an easier to use user interface. So again, the pros and cons to both. They're expanding their ad network so they don't require a minimum monthly ad spend. Right now on Site Scout, you gotta spend $500 a month, which, depending on your product or service and how much traffic you want, may seem expensive to you or may seem really cheap. Then you choose your promotion. You want to focus on one single product or service that you want to sell, and then optimize that one strategy to get sales at the lowest possible cost. And this is really important. It has to be something you can sell via a banner ad, because that's what the ads on your competitor's site or wherever you're putting them are going to look like. It's going to look like a banner, like the banner ads you see on sites now. So if it's not something you can sell via banner ads, it won't work, because no one will click on it. Does that make sense? There's some stuff that's appropriate that you could sell in a little image, and there's some stuff that needs a lot more detail to get people interested. Okay, so the research that you want to do is you want to direct your ads. They'll give you a choice. Do you want your ad to be on the page, a pop-up, pop over the site, like a pop-up ad, or pop under the site behind it? If they ask you pop up or pop under, you want pop up. Pop under ads don't convert as well, from our experience. Then, in addition to putting your competitors' sites up, you also want to Google the most relevant keywords for your product, because you can put ads that have that content. So it might not be something you would think of to advertise on, but it might work. So for example, you might think that you should advertise on Scroy Financial and steal some of their clients. I mean, gently redirect. However, financial planning, that word might also show up on a Forbes site, on Forbes.com, the magazine site. And if you say, I want local 14226 people who are on the Forbes site, well, if I'm local and I'm reading that, I might be a good prospect for you. Does that make sense? Yep. So, you want to do the keyword research. Other thing you want to do is do a Google search on those terms and then advertise on the sites that show up on the first page. Because they did all the work to get to page 1, you might as well take something away from them and benefit from it without having to do all the work. Does that make sense? Okay, so again, copy the URL, paste it into a document, upload it onto Lead Impact or Site Scout. What should your landing page look like? So after they've clicked your ad, where do you want them to go? You want this to be an opt-in page. So you don't want to drive them to a regular home page on your site. You want to add another page that is specific for this campaign, so you can test its conversion more effectively. Because if your regular site doesn't have a mechanism to attract people to sign up for something, you're going to waste your money. You'll be wasting your money smarter, but you'll be still wasting it. If you have to pay the retargeting network, whether it's Lead Impact or Site Scout, they will give you the retargeting code to put on your site. That's a code that puts a cookie on your customer's browser and follows them all over the place. If you don't put the code on your site, none of this will work. Don't forget to paste it. So then you're going to set up your campaign, which is, you have to decide where they are, where do they go, what happens, what offer do they see to bring them back to your site, and then what ads do you want to show that person if they leave again or if they buy. So again, you've got to plot out your funnel. These are just terms. You're going to need retargeting banners as your ad. Destination link is where on your site you want them to go. Even a bad retargeting campaign should get you a click-through rate of at least 6%, which is much, much higher than normal. Because again, you're following them. You get more chances. Would you rather have 1 sales call with your ideal prospect or 7? Shoot, I'd rather take 7 because I got more chances to get them to buy, which is the whole point of this. Now you can, landing pages where they're going, keywords are what people are typing in to find your find a site with your ad on it. The way we found is if you use Lead Impact and spend $200, you should get roughly 5,000 people to your site. That's how cheap the traffic is. Site Scout, it's a minimum of $500 right now. So again, Lead Impact is bigger bang for your buck right now. It's just a little harder to use. But is $200 worth it for 5,000 people to your site? Depends on your business. If you have lousy conversion and only 5 people buy, and you're selling them a $10 product, well, you spent $200, you made $50. That's not very good math. However, if you're selling them something that costs a lot, if you have good conversion, and even if you get 50 people to buy, and you're selling them something that's $100, your 200 just turned into 5,000. So the math has to work. Good marketing can't overcome bad math. 5,000 users is a good number, is a valid statistical test. So if you say I've got 5,000 people to my site, how many people opted in or bought, you now know mathematically, okay, if I get 10%, I should know the next 5,000 people I'm going to get another 500. Because 5,000 users is a big, traffic hits is a big enough number that it's a valid statistical sample. And now you can say, do I want to do this again? Do I want to do more of it because it worked really well? Or do I need to fix something? This is really important. You want to set a limit for how many times you display your ad to the people who have left your site. It'll let you follow them for like 90 days. Don't make it obvious that you're following them. If you say, show me 10 ads a day, I'm going to get sick of seeing you and I'm going to go, what the heck is this guy doing? One of the local companies that is really good at doing this is Frank's Plumbing. They are doing retargeting. So just for the heck of it, go to Frank's Plumbing or Basement Systems or callmrplumber.com and then go someplace else and watch their ads show up. Even if you're on your smartphone, they will follow you. The only issue is they're not clients of ours yet, so I haven't told them that they're following people a little too much. But you'll see the ad follows you wherever you go. I mean, the minimum is 1 impression per 14 days. That's the minimum either network will let you do to retarget, to show your ad once every 2 weeks. If you're doing something time sensitive, like it's an offer that ends today, or there's a Sabres game, or whatever it is, or there's a deadline, you would probably do a lot more than that in a short period of time. But at the minimum they'll let you do is once every 2 weeks. I would do at least once, I would do once a day.
Seth, those 5,000 users, they have to come to your website first before you can follow.
Right, but remember, we're combining cost per view advertising and retargeting. So you're getting the 5,000 hits to your site and then following them. And then we're testing how many people do what you want right away and how many people do what you want when you bring them back.
I'm never using my computer again.
Right, I'm never using my computer again. Short of putting a webcam in your house, this is the closest I can get to knowing what you're doing. Then you've got to analyze your numbers. Allows you to buy media, follow up with leads, even that they don't opt in, which is a huge breakthrough. You'll be adding a ton of new names to the most important list of all, your buyer list. You can also do this with your existing email list. So if you've got people on an email list, now you can start putting ads in front of them and following them around. So you have customers who haven't bought from you in a while. Great way to get them back. Great way to get them to buy more. Okay, so you now need, because you're doing banner ads, you need a visual strategy to stand out so your banner ad doesn't look like every other banner ad, because otherwise people might not click on it. So we've tested a bunch of stuff. Things that stand out, and this may or may not necessarily reflect your brand, but your brand, you can have no image in your banner and just have text, so it looks like a text ad. We've done it so that the banner ad looks like it's part of the site, like an editorial little tiny article. We've also done it so that it is like ugly, yellow, flashing to get their attention. Again, that might not necessarily work for jewelry, but could work for something else. If you look, the most engaging brands on Facebook, where the people comment the most, 80% of those updates include visuals. So again, if you just look on your own news feed, watch which posts get the most comments. And usually it's ones that involve pictures. So use pictures. So in conclusion, you can now generate leads like never before because you can advertise in front of your targeted prospects and in front of your competitors' customers, get them to your site and then follow them once they leave, which should be a gold mine. You can save a ton of money and let your competitors sweat it out while you piggyback on their process. Questions? Comments? Yes?
Does that, you were talking about the Facebook thing earlier that they were doing with their search engine. Does that have anything to do with how they're changing the news feed and how that works?
They've also, as you noticed, made a bunch of recent changes to your news feed. So now they have an algorithm that determines what shows up in your news feed. It used to be just all of your friends' posts. Now they're giving weight to certain kinds of posts. They're giving weight. If more people like it, they show it higher. So it's now a popularity contest. If it was more recent, they give it more weight. So there is, we could spend 3 hours just going through Facebook's algorithm, but they are trying to make it more relevant so that you see stuff that you are more likely to like. Again, to give you a better user experience, to sell you more ads, to make more money.
Well, it just seemed, because you said 80%.
Yes.
Now they all involve pictures, and that's
right.
I read an article yesterday about how it's all geared towards more pictures, more
yes.
content, more videos.
Yes.
Is that number you think will increase then, considering they're putting more?
I think it will increase substantially. Yes, absolutely.
That's good news then for you.
Yes, that is good news for us. Yes.